Boom. Tina G at the top of the list. Fox Hill Dreams. Ness from Connecticut. Tracy M. Bernadette. Tanise. Peter is a boss. Karen Purdy from Newton Falls, Ohio. There she is. Queen of the South. Cather Murphy. Lumpy Girl. Ms. Maui Cruz. Samantha Hawkins, Synth Fan, and me, BDD in the Heezy. Stephanie L. Sheila Bird. Patricia Haverkamp. Lucy L. Olivia. Amanda Crawford. The Trump Reaper. Punxsutawney Mo. Hey! Monique Lee, Anissa, Cindy C, Paula Freitas. That's right, this is my chair hula. Welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad, and this is Storytime. Happy Hump Day, aka Happy Wednesday, and it appears that I have won the highly coveted Chair Dance Award, awarded by our very own Tina G. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank my mom for giving me the good genes, and my dad too, and and my chair. Scribble My Dibbles is here. Oh, did I forget the gling 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 gling? And Sarah B is in the Faheezy. In the Heezy? Whatever. So happy Wednesday and Wednesday. And we're going to get into what we are covering in our stories of the day. Stories of the day. The January 6th hearing, day one, happened yesterday, and we're going to get into that. Speaker Nancy Pelosi had some choice words for Kevin McCarthy. Simone Biles dropped out of the team and all-around final in the Olympics. We'll cover the fallout from that. Our latest edition is Guess That 80s. It's 80s movie quote. 80s movie quotes. Last but not least, we have the 4G. That's Gates, Green, Gosar, and Gomert are today's You Raggedy Bish. And there it is, guys. There it is. I see a bunch of people have popped into the room. I see Matt Meehan is here, Valerie G, Lisa Hathaway, Lee Saunders, Samantha Hawkins, Kathleen Cross, Gavin Rutherford, Wilbur McCarthy, Misha Oliver. Let's see. Did I say Roger Soko and Samantha Hawkins? Yes. Okay. Welcome, you guys. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you. All right. So we got a bunch of things, but right at the top of the hour, I'd like to cover an issue, but I need some background music. I'm going to throw on this random chill music. All right, that's nice and chill. Many of you guys are familiar with my struggles in the past with drug addiction. It had plagued me for a good chunk of my life. When I should have been doing productive things, I was destroying my life with drugs. Anyway, on August 17th, a few weeks from now, I will be celebrating 18 years clean and sober. But I don't want to stop there. The next big hurdle for me is cigarette smoking. In fact, just as I unleashed an elbow point, some of you are probably wondering, hey, Brooklyn Dad, you think that's a smoker's cough you have? It could be. I've been smoking a very long time, since I was 15, and I'm 53 now, so it's almost 40 years. Yeah, and 40 years, I think the last time I tried to quit was a little bit more than 10 years ago. And that's not me, by the way, but it could be, but it's not. I tried to quit smoking, and I was successful, relatively successful for 2 months. And then my mom had some issues, and she had a stroke, actually, and I flew out to California, and that was the end of my my no smoking. Well, I'm going to try to do better this time because I realize that, you know, life is short. It's fleeting. It's short, and it could be shorter if I don't get my ass in gear. I like to try to, you know, and wifey has encouraged me to be healthier, and I'd like to enjoy watching my kids grow up and watching them have kids and having grandkids and telling them all the stories that I've been repeating over and over and over that that my kids are probably tired of by now. Yeah, I want to tell those stories. So August 17th will be, for me, hopefully, knock on wood, the end. I'm going to take it a day at a time, the same way I took Lisa Hathaway offers interesting fun fact here. She says the dude from Kojak, that was Telly Savalas, sucked on lollipops to help him quit smoking. That's interesting. Who loves you, baby? That was his catchphrase. So to assist me in quitting smoking, my doctor told me back in January, she said, look, when you're ready to quit smoking, let me know, and I will write you a script for those nicotine patches, because the patch actually worked for me, right? And Sally Rose's birthday is on August 17th. Congratulations. So I got one of these things. You can't really see it that well, but it says nicotine transdermal system, and it's like 5 different boxes. This is for 7 patches. It's a 1-week kit, and I got to go through this whole regimen. And it's not just the quitting of the smoking. I see you, Trump Reaper, saying I might try vaping. I tried it. I don't like it. It does something crazy to my throat. I'm not crazy about the vaping. Nah, I'm just going to do it, because if I do the vaping, that's still extending the behavior, and that's part of what is necessary. It's not just this, it's the behavior. It's, the blowing out of the smoke is part of the addiction. It's part of, like, after I have a meal, I want to have a cigarette, so I've got to get past this. I don't want to continue putting this garbage, this tar into my lungs. So fingers crossed. Like I said, I'm going to keep it a day at a time, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to try to see beyond further than the 24 hours that I'm dealing with. And if I have to take it an hour at a time, that's what I will do. Wish me luck. All right, so that's that for our random stuffs. And now Foxhill Dreams says they used bubble gum to stop smoking. That's clever. Debbie Neiman says they put me on some sort of Chantix equivalent, an antidepressant drug. I forgot the name. Thank you very much. So I will obviously, when it happens, I will let you know, and I will keep you apprised. If you see my mood change drastically, you'll know. Okay, so let's jump into our quick hits. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's coming, buddy. It is coming. Wait. Let's go back here. Okay, here we go. So earlier today, excuse me, we learned that that there has been an agreement. An agreement has been reached on the infrastructure deal, not the big whopping $3.5 trillion infrastructure deal, but the smaller bipartisan infrastructure deal. And well, this is kind of good news, you know. So what this means is that the next step is that they're going to vote on a debate for this. I think earlier Senator Rob Portman had announced this, and then later on in his speech from Pennsylvania, President Biden also announced this. But then, there's always a but, guys. I'm sorry. There's always a but. Then, a certain senator announced that she is not in favor of the $3.5 trillion deal. And as such, if she doesn't vote for the $3.5 trillion deal, which is supposed to pass through reconciliation, that's going to screw up the other bipartisan deal, because the House ain't voting for it if the $3.5 trillion deal is in jeopardy. So there you have it. Anytime. That's why we can't have nice things. We have idiots like this with her fuck off ring, Kyrsten Sinema. She's a problem. And I wish I probably could delete my tweet from like a year or two ago when she won her race, and I was like, woohoo, congratulations, Kyrsten Sinema. I didn't know she was going to be a jackass like this. She does need to leave, Roger Soko. You need to leave. God damn it. In other news, the CDC has been steadily shuffling their recommendations for dealing with COVID-19, and the latest shuffle leaves us on, so K through 12 children in all schools are advised to wear a mask in school. Now, naturally, there's already been a huge pushback on mask mandates, and this is no different. See, the problem is kids under 12 are not eligible for the vaccine for some reason. So, how do we keep them safe? Well, since you have some kids that are part of families that don't want to vaccinate, how do you keep the kids whose parents are vaccinated safe? Wear the mask. But, lots of people now are tired of the CDC's shuffling of their requirements. Whatever. They're focused on this and nothing else. I'm focused on what am I having for dinner tonight? What am I going to tweet? What's on my show, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to leave the science shit to the people who focus on science. Amanda Crawford has great news. Her kiddo's school is doing virtual, and he got a slot. Congratulations. And Misha Oliver, thank you for the reminder to please hit the like button. Hit that like button. Welcome to Eddie Cologne, Eddie Cologne, who just subscribed. And I see Miss Maui Cruz has written hashtag number 19. I don't know what that means. Anyway, pushback on vaccines. People don't want to deal with all of the shifting regulations. So now we should get a third booster. We should get a booster shot for Pfizer and maybe for Moderna. And But again, I'm leaving it to the people who know better. So, there are businesses, there are states and businesses now. Thumbs up bottom, thumbs up button, BDD. Oh, Miss Maui Cruz is number 19 on the thumbs up. Thank you, Miss Maui Cruz. So states and businesses are now starting to say, okay, you either get vaccinated or you are required to take a weekly COVID test. Good. So you get a Q-tip shoved way deep inside your nose every goddamn week if you insist on being this stupid. And Speaker Nancy Pelosi had some choice words for somebody who does not agree with the House regulations. The House of Representatives also has regulations on wearing a mask. If you don't wear a mask when you're in the chamber, you get a fine. The first fine is $500, and subsequent fines are as much as $2,500 a pop. And Kevin McCarthy says he doesn't agree with it. He's blah, blah, blah. And somebody asked Speaker Pelosi, what do you think about what Kevin McCarthy says? And she's like, he's such a moron. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. Kevin McCarthy still has his wagon hitched to this broken down jalopy Spanky McDumbass. And so, yes, obviously he is a moron. Now, the sports world, the Olympics world was stunned yesterday when we learned that Simone Biles removed herself from the team finals of the Olympics, of the gymnastics part of the Olympics. And it's a big deal. Simone Biles is not just some regular gymnast. In fact, she is 30, a combined 30 awards from the Olympics and World Championships. 30 medals. She's the most decorated American gymnast and easily the greatest and most dominant of all time. She is, I've said this a few times. I've said we should replace the whole thing where you're comparing someone to being the Michael Jordan of something. You should now change that to being the Simone Biles of something, because she is better at gymnastics than Michael Jordan ever was at basketball. Clearly. But she's removed herself because she needs some mental well-being time. She needs time. She's stressed or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what her reason is. But in this instance, she needs some self-care time. Good for her. Because you know what? The kind of moves that she does out there on the floor, they are so dangerous. They are so dangerous that other gymnasts will not even attempt to do them. So imagine not being on top of your game, 100% on top of your game, and not being able to do the best that you can do because you're not 100% right up here. She's absolutely right taking herself out of there. What she does is way more complicated than anything any of you or I are attempting on a daily basis. Mowing the lawn, no. Driving a car down Flatbush in Brooklyn with all those dollar vans, crazy. No. She is like, what she does, that's at the same level as deep sea diving level of difficulty, right? And she's not alone. She's not alone. People like Naomi Osaka, who is also very talented and very highly ranked in her field. She said, you know what? Press conferences, I don't want them. She said at the French Open, I'm not in the right space to do this. I don't want to deal with it. And people came out and criticized her, but it's important now. Mental health is very important to focus on. And if you don't focus on your own mental health, who will? Nobody else knows what's going on inside your brain except you. So congratulations to these strong women of color doing their thing to take care of themselves. And shame on anybody who wants to come out and criticize them for that. Especially this doughy asshole buzzard Piers Morgan. He's always, anytime it's a woman of color, he's right at the front of the line. I have something to say. Shut the fuck up, asshole. And this, this shrinking face, Charlie, what the hell is his name? Charlie Kirk. Him too. He's got something to say about Simone Biles. Combined, him and Piers Morgan have 0 medals. Okay, they should buy a ticket to Shut the Fuck Upsville and one way and just stay there. And you know what? They might as well be joined by this rocket scientist also by the name of Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is a blogger. That's his claim to fame. He's a blogger. He's good. He's highly skilled at typing. Yeah? And Matt Walsh was posted this tweet earlier today. It says, Michael Jordan leaves Game 7 of the NBA Finals to focus on mental health. Well, a fun fact for you, Matt Walsh. Michael Jordan was never in a Game 7, number one, because, it's Michael Jordan. He didn't need to take it to Game 7. But number two, Michael Jordan actually did freaking retire from the game of basketball after the death of his father. What would you call that? Sounds like mental health. Yeah? Yeah. Sounds like mental health. So, yeah, people. So, these folks, they do not exist. Well, actually, basketball players do entertain us, right? But they're doing their job. They're doing what they love. And at the end of the day, it's up to them to decide what's right for them and what's not right for them. So the haters and the bloggers, they can all go to hell. And that's what I have to say about that, God damn it. Wilbur McCarthy says John McEnroe was a basket case. Absolutely. That dude would have served himself well to take some mental health days, weeks, and months off. That dude was tightly wound. Tracy M's Michael Jordan retired to focus on his mental health. Miss Maui Cruz says, fun fact, all those weirdos on the right need mental health therapy. Oh, so it looks like we have a troll here who has named himself Majid Poop Dillon. Let me just say a few words for you. What is your life like that you exist? The only joy you can extract from your existence is to go on a show where people are having a nice time. You are so consumed with me that you set up a YouTube account calling yourself Majid Poop Dillon. How much is the rent in your headspace? It's free, right? Because I'm clearly taking up that headspace rent free. Well, good day to you. And before you leave, let me just say, you need to leave. I will let my my wonderful what do you call them? Moderators take. Oh, I think Tina G is on top of it already. Of course she is. Gavin Rutherford says, I think he's a kid. Adults don't say poop. You'd be surprised. Actually, I do say poop sometimes. I do. Actually, every day I do. Not publicly, just here, at home. Poop. Anyway, it is now time for our timeline cleanse. Timeline cleanse. I love that fancy sounding, what do they call those things? Auto-tune. That's cool. Oh, okay. It was the Trump Reaper that had disposed of that troll. What a sad existence. Anyway, I refuse to spend another second on that. Instead, let's jump on this first one. You know, sometimes, you know, always when you have eaten too much. You know, right? Because whether you're at the table or on the couch, your body, you don't want to move. Your body's like, nah, I'm good. No, no, I don't want to go. I can't move. So this first clip, it says it all. Now, if you look closely at this video, you can actually see this cat. I don't know if the cat is burping or hiccuping, but look, right there, and the tail, the tail can just barely wag, just barely. I can't eat another bite of stuffed. Mommy, just send forward my mail somewhere else. I can't move. I can't eat another bite. All right. Next up, I saw something fantastic, and I normally don't like to do things on the show that help promote some brand, especially for free. But whatever. I saw this thing. It's like a commercial, and it was very cool. Check it out.
Cut. That was great. That was awesome, guys.
Look at that. You can make your own like horror movie of a giant kid or a giant whatever just with your phone. It never occurred to me. And obviously it makes sense, but it's all from perspective. I love how the dude drops his paper.
Cut. That was great. That was awesome, guys.
That's very cool. I cannot wait to try that trick. It's all perspective, yeah? I'm going to try that. All right, next up, this next clip, it's not really much of a timeline cleanser, but it is interesting. I saw this either last night or the night before, and I have so many questions from this. I have been to many cities in the United States. I've been to the big cities like Los Angeles. I've been to San Francisco. I've been to Florida, in Miami. I've been to Tampa. I've been to a lot of big cities. I've even been to Chicago, where they have the famed deep dish pizza, right? And I've tried pizza all over the place. I still believe that our pizza in Brooklyn is better than anywhere else. And the other day there was an altercation at Joe's Pizza, which I thought was hilarious. First of all, because Joe's Pizza, like that's what I used to do whenever I answered the phone, and I knew who was, I knew the person that was calling, so I'd be like, Joe's Pizza. Anyway, there was an altercation at Joe's Pizza. And this is how it went down. Shit got violent. Shit got real. He was like, I don't like pineapple on my pizza. But listen to the guy who's filming.
It's really happening.
Yeah, it's really happening.
Oh my fucking shit.
That's a serious fight.
I'm still waiting for my pizza, by the way.
You're not getting it.
I want my pizza.
He said I'm still waiting for my pizza.
It's amazing.
How do I get this?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's still slapping him with the fucking laser.
Yo, he's hitting that dude with a ladle with a paddle. Paula wants to know, is he refusing to wear a mask? At this point, I think the mask is kind of moot. If anybody there has COVID, they all have COVID now. They all have. It's a mixture of people who work there and people who don't work there. The people who don't work there in black shirts, they're wearing team jerseys.
I'm still waiting for my pizza, buddy.
You're not getting it.
Still waiting for his
I want
pizza.
my pizza. I paid for my pizza. It's amazing.
How do I get this?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's still sliding on what the fucking amazing.
And I'm sorry, I don't have answers for you. I don't know what started that. If it was over a mask, if it was a random piece of pineapple that landed on his pizza, if it was, was that a rival pizza store, guys, over there? Our pizza's better than yours, buddy. Oh, yeah? Come say that to my face, Joey. Who knows? But anyway, that's it for our timeline cleanse. I'm sorry if that did not cleanse your timeline. It was interesting, though. Study was done. Lucy L says Portland has the best pizza in USA. Well, I'm going to have to put that on my things to do list. I definitely do want to visit Portland. It looks like a very bizarre city. All right. So next up, we have our main issue story of the day. It is a recap of the January 6th hearing that started yesterday. It was definitely an emotionally searing day in Congress yesterday, as 4 U.S. Capitol police officers testified. That was the only thing on the docket for yesterday. And thankfully, there was no clown show from the likes of people like Jim Jordan, because he was blocked from participating. And instead, we had heavy, serious involvement from the 2 Republicans that were on the committee, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. Adam Kinzinger actually got really choked up, while he was speaking yesterday. And it was nice to see, for a change, to see 2 Republicans who act responsibly, who actually want to get to the bottom of what happened. So those of you who are watching the show right now, this was not a tour. This was not a tour. And in fact, there was some controversy between Jamie Raskin and some other Republican House member jackass who insisted that the events that he saw on TV were like a tour. And sorry, I don't know what bullshit channel he was watching, but what we saw were police officers being beaten, like this one here, Officer Hodges. Officer Hodges, Clyde. Ah, yes, it was Rep. Clyde. Thank you. Officer Hodges was the guy who was crushed. He was crushed inside the door. I don't know what tour you go on where you get to crush another human being in a door, but that is a whack tour. All right. I have a clip of his testimony where he was prepared to explain what a domestic terrorist is.
Domestic terrorism, no homegrown threats. But I came prepared. U.S. Code, Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 113, B as in Brown, Section 2331. The term domestic terrorism means activities that involve acts dangerous to human life that are a violation of the criminal laws of the United States or of any state, and B, appear to be intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, or to influence the policy of a government by intimidation or coercion, or to affect the conduct of a government by mass destruction, assassination, or kidnapping, and occur primarily within the territorial jurisdiction of the United States.
Yeah, it was Officer Hodges, and I got to take my hat off to him, as well as to the rest of the officers who showed up and testified yesterday for a few reasons. First of all, look, if you guys, I can see your comments there. You're all saying, like, I watched it, I was in tears and then I got angry. A lot of people felt that way. I did too. It's very hard to watch. Some of that video that we saw was new footage that we hadn't previously seen, but it all adds up to the same shock and horror that we saw on January 6th. If you feel like you were traumatized watching the original footage on January 6th, if you feel like you were traumatized, imagine how these guys feel having to watch that footage all over again. And yes, Lucy, some evil troll did call one of the cops, I think it was Officer Fanone, and left a nasty message for him. Yeah, it's disgusting. But these guys have to watch that shit all over again and on national television recount in detail, in gruesome, brutal detail, what they experienced, how people were trying to kill them, what they were saying. Somebody said, you're going to die here. You're going to die here. That is the so-called Back the Blue crowd. That is the so-called Blue Lives Matter crowd. I tweeted earlier today, Blue Lives Matter was just a big fuck you to Black Lives Matter. That's all Blue Lives Matter was about. It was trolling those of us on the left and those of us who are people of color who were trying to say Black lives also matter. This is a picture here of Officer Gunnell. Officer Gunnell served in the military in Afghanistan. And he said what he experienced on January 6th was worse than what he experienced in Afghanistan. Now, in Afghanistan, his threat was, first of all, he knew he was dealing with threats, terrorist threats from people in Afghanistan, quote unquote, the enemy. He knew that there were going to be roadside bombs, IEDs, improvised explosive devices. He knew what to expect there. But he didn't expect that shit. He didn't expect having to defend himself, fight for his life against fellow Americans at the U.S. Capitol, where normally a tour does happen, but nothing like this. Hand-to-hand combat, people using bear spray and rebar. You know how hard rebar is? That shit is no joke. Here's a clip from Officer Gunnell.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And again, thank you to all of our witnesses for your heroism and your bravery that day, and
That's
also
Liz Cheney.
for being here today and telling your story. And I certainly join the chairman and every member of this committee in our commitment to making sure we get to the truth and that those who did this are accountable. Officer Gunnell, I'd like to ask you, you described in your testimony that you said it was like a medieval battlefield, that what you were subjected to that day was something like a medieval battlefield. You said we fought hand to hand and inch by inch to prevent an invasion of the Capitol by a violent mob intent on subverting our democratic process. And is it the case that as you were fighting there, you were not aware that the Capitol had been breached elsewhere? I believe you said that you really thought you were the last line of defense. Is that right?
That is correct,
And so, Officer Gunnell, when you think about that and share with us the vivid memory of the cruelty and the violence of the assault that day, and then you hear former President Trump say, quote, "It was a loving crowd." there was a lot of love in the crowd. How does that make you feel?
It's upsetting. It's a pathetic excuse for his behavior for something that he himself helped to create, this monstrosity. I'm still recovering from those hugs and kisses that day that he claimed that so many rioters, terrorists, were assaulting us that day. If that was hugs and kisses, then we should all go to his house and do the same thing to him. To me, it's insulting, it's demoralizing, because everything that we did was to prevent everyone in the Capitol from getting hurt. And what he was doing, instead of sending the military, instead of sending the support or telling his people, his supporter, to stop this nonsense, he egged them to continue fighting. I wasn't.
Yeah. These guys, they have to relive every horrible moment. And this brother, he went home, right? His uniform was covered in chemicals. So when he got home, his wife wanted to hug him. He says, "No, I'm covered in chemical." Then he went to go take a shower and rest up. And then he was going to go back out. And his wife was like, "No, what are you doing?" He's like, I got to help. I got to go back. That's insane. Insane. And whew, I mean, if you had never seen what had happened on January 6th, and yesterday was your first time seeing it, you would never have thought that happened in the United States of America. But it did. It did. And Officer Fanone, a lot of you guys have seen this guy on TV. Officer Fanone was like the rest of us. He was fed up, but him especially, because there they are putting their lives on the line for members of Congress who voted against an investigation. They voted against it. These guys helped keep them alive that day. They held the line. And we got Congress trying to blame them, calling them crisis actors, mocking them as Laura Ingraham did last night. Laura Ingraham mocked these guys. How dare she? How dare she?
I feel like I went to hell and back to protect them and the people in this room. But too many are now telling me that hell doesn't exist, or that hell actually wasn't that bad. The indifference shown to my colleagues is disgraceful. My law enforcement career prepared me to cope with some of the aspects of this experience. Being an officer, you know your life is at risk whenever you walk out the door, even if you don't expect otherwise law-abiding citizens to take up arms against you. But nothing, truly nothing, has prepared me to address those elected members of our government who continue to deny the events of that day, and in doing so, betray their oath of office.
I couldn't have said it better. And these guys all should be commended. Keep in mind that Republican members of Congress also voted against honoring these officers who lived through that shit. They lived through it. But nothing hit home harder for me than watching Officer Harry Dunn explain how he was called an effing N-word by those members of that same crowd who claim to back the blue, but they only back the blue when the blue ain't black.
I told them to just leave the Capitol, and in response they yelled, "No, man, this is our house. President Trump invited us here. We're here to stop the steal. Joe Biden is not the president. Nobody voted for Joe Biden." I'm a law enforcement officer, and I do my best to keep politics out of my job. But in this circumstance, I responded. Well, I voted for Joe Biden. Does my vote not count? Am I nobody? That prompted a torrent of racial epithets. One woman in a pink MAGA shirt yelled, "You hear that, guys? This nigger voted for Joe Biden." Then the crowd, perhaps around 20 people, joined in screaming, "Boo, fucking nigger." No one had ever called me a nigger while wearing the uniform of a Capitol Police officer. In the days following the attempted insurrection, other black officers shared with me their own stories of racial abuse on January 6th. One officer told me he had never, and in his entire 40 years of life, been called a nigger to his face, and that streak ended on January 6th. Yet,
some powerful stuff from Officer Harry Dunn and the other three officers as well. And I liked the analogy that Harry Dunn brought up about hitman, right? So he was explaining how a hitman gets hired to go and take somebody out, right? So the hitman goes and does his job. If he gets arrested, should he be the only one who faces charges because he's the one who pulled the trigger? No. The person who hired the hitman has to face charges as well. And we all know who hired those hitmen. Who got those terrorists? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. So, as far as I understand it, the Congress is supposed to go into recess for 7 weeks. It's going to take us into mid-September. I saw earlier today it's possible that that these hearings might continue during the recess. I don't have an update on that yet. I just heard that earlier today, but I am encouraged by the fact that we learned that Donald Trump might be subpoenaed, and he should be. You know, nobody should be immune from being subpoenaed to this hearing. I want to see them all. I want to see Jim Jordan there as a material witness. I want to see Kevin McCarthy there as a material witness. I want to see Donald Trump there as a material witness. I want to see Lauren Boebert there. I want to see Paul Gosar. I want to see all those jackasses who worked with Ali Alexander on organizing that shit. I want to see all of them. And I want to see all of them put in prison too. And that's right. Misha says nobody should be able to ignore a subpoena. Absolutely. Now that was the game they were playing last year, but there's a new sheriff in town. And I don't think the sheriff is going for that shit. Nope. If they wanted to, if they want to defy a subpoena, put them in jail. That's what we have the jails for. That's what you got the handcuffs for. Use them. And yeah, where the hell is Ali Alexander anyway? How is that dude who is full video testimony admitting to doing this shit? Why is he not in handcuffs? I don't know. I don't get it. Cindy C says Clarence Thomas's wife and Charlie Kirk for financing the bus rides. So I've seen the thing about Charlie Kirk. However, Clarence Thomas's wife, I'm not sure. I think somebody debunked that. I think Daniel Dale debunked that. And I think it's also been debunked on Snopes.com. You might want to check that out. All right, let's move right along to our fun time game. And that is guess the 80s movie from quotes. So those of you... oh, no. Speedtopia is good people. Correct, Tina G. You are right. Yeah, Speedtopia, she's good peeps. She? or he. I don't know. Speedtopia. Anyway, those of you who have been here before are familiar with the game. Those of you who are new, I'll explain it to you briefly. I'm going to read off some quotes from some very popular 80s movies. I've got a few tricky ones here that I think I might stump you on. But overall, if you recognize the quote, if you know what movie it came from, I don't need the person who said it, just the movie. Then you're going to type it in, hit send, and whoever gets it right, I'm going to read off like the first 10 or so names who guessed correctamundo. All right? Now, Speedtopia is she. Speedy is her hubby, and she's Utopia. Yes, hence Speedtopia. Thank you for the breakdown on that. Thank you very much. All right, here's the first one. Listen closely. Here it is. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Name that movie. I'll say it again. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. I see some people are guessing Scarface. However, we were looking for The Princess Bride. I could have also gone with, you keep using that word. I don't think you know what it means, which is a big meme. A lot of people have been using that. All right, let's see. Who do we got at the top here? At the top, we got Eddie G, Misha Oliver, Linda Kay, Amanda Crawford, Scribble My Dibbles, Kevin Murphy, Synth Fan, Cindy C, Peter is a boss, Miss Maui Cruz, Ness from Connecticut, Sylvia Correa, Kathleen Cross, Samantha Hawkins, Watcher Soko, Stephanie L. Kevin Rutherford said Speedy Gonzalez. Okay, next up. Here's the next one. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? This character clearly has an issue with snakes. What is the name of that movie? I see snakes on a plane. That is a guess. It's a good guess, but it is not correct. We were looking for... Dun, 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 dun. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark. And let's see, who do we got at the top? Whoa, Eddie G is on a roll here again at the top. Eddie G, Synth Fan, Punxsutawney Mo, Lee Saunders, Scribble My Dibbles, Cindy C, Tracy M, Peter is a Boss, Cha Cha, Ness from Connecticut, Linda K, Misha Oliver, Monique Lee, Amanda Crawford, Sylvia Correa, Stephanie L, Speedtopia. Misha, I'm going to give you credit, even though it's the wrong movie. It's the right character. I'll give you credit for that one. She said Temple of Doom. Kathleen Cross, Samantha Hawkins, Wilbur McCarthy. Very good. Okay, next up. Next one, I like this one. Hold on. You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe? It should be more natural, brother. It should flow out like this. Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe. Not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe? Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe. Okay, clearly, with these first three, I have not fooled a soul. Doom, 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 doom. Boom, doom, 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 doom. All right. We were looking for Beverly Hills Cop, and that line was delivered by none other than Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley. And that tune I was just humming was called Axel's Theme. And some people later on were like, oh, yeah, that's the Frog song. Like, what? Frog. Okay, at the top here we got Sheila Bird, Scribble My Nibbles, Linda Kay, Lee Saunders. Damn it, Eddie G, you were on a roll and then you slipped. I jinxed you. Lee Saunders, Pete is the Boss, Monique Lee, Amanda Crawford, Stephanie L, Punxsutawney Bo. Partial credit to Cha-Cha for saying Eddie Murphy, but not the movie. Lucy L, Cindy C, Watcher Soko, Sylvia Correa, Lumpy Girl, Gavin Rutherford. Oh, Lee Saunders gets extra credit for writing Axel F. That was the name of the tune. And gets... All right. Next up. Listen closely. Here it is. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. I think I got you guys there. I think I got you. I think I finally did stump you with that one. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. Okay, so let's see. It appears I have only stumped a handful of you with this one. We were looking for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, starring a baby-faced pre-Matrix Keanu Reeves. And let's see, who do we have at the top here? Lee Saunders is at the top, followed by Scribble My Nibbles, Synth Fan, Linda Kay, Misha Oliver, Cindy C., Myra Morero, Stephanie L., Punxsutawney Mo, Lucy L., Pete is the Boss, Lumpy Girl, Bill, Sheila Bird, Ness from Connecticut, Amanda Crawford. Trump Reaper said, Keanu Reeves, hubba hubba. Wilbur McCarthy, Monique Lee, Karen Purdy. Okay, next up. I'm not skipping people intentionally. It's just I can't read everybody who answers. Okay, here's the next one. Listen closely. You know the law. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Name that movie. You know the law. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Did I get you there? Did I get you? I got some of you. Now that Axel's theme is stuck in my brain. Stuck in my brain. La 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 la. First rule of Fight Club is I was not looking for Fight Club. I was looking for Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Beyond Thunderdome. And the person who delivered that line was the inimitable Tina Turner. And let's see, who do we got at the top here? We got Sheila Bird, Punxsutawney Moe, Linda Kay, Amanda Crawford, Scribble My Dimples, Ben Carlazzo, Misha Oliver, Michelle Bookout, Cindy C, Sylvia Correa, Sheila Bird, Eddie G, Watcher Soko said Mad Max Metrodome or something like this. You are correct. Ness from Connecticut. Sandra from Paramount. Gavin Rutherford, Samantha Hawkins. Very good. Okay. Next up, listen closely. No wire hangers ever! If I delivered that a different way, I would say, no wire hangers ever. But that would be wrong. No wire hangers ever! Terrifying movie. Terrifying. Terrifying. That woman, Joan Crawford, whoo, boy. Mommy Dearest. Ooh, that was scary, scary movie. And let's see, I'm seeing some folks were born after the 80s having some difficulty with this game. But at the top here, we got Eddie G has reclaimed her perch at the top for now. Linda Kay, Amanda Crawford, whoops, damn it. Amanda Crawford, M. Getz, Scribble My Dibbles, Michelle Bookout, The Trump Reaper, Kathy Murphy, no, not Kathy Murphy, no. Tracy M, Michelle Bookout, Misha Oliver, Hilda Baiza, Sheila Bird, Speedtopia, Punxsutawney Moe, Cha Cha, Lucy, Watcher Soko, Stephanie L. Okay, next up. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. I'm hoping that some of you were not watching as I mistakenly advanced to the next slide, but honor system, I'm just going to trust you guys. Well, if I did, that's my own fault. But anyway, we were looking for Airplane, which was hilarious when I first saw this movie. It was hilarious. Really, like, had tears. But then I rewatched it like maybe a year ago, and this movie would have to be remade. Let's see. Definitely would need to be remade in today's world. At the top here, we got Lee Saunders. M. Getz, Kathy Murphy. Linda Kay, Michelle Bookout, Scribble My Dibbles. Ben Carlazzo, Punxsutawney Moe, The Trump Reaper, Watcher Soko, Lee Saunders, got you already, Misha Oliver, Stephanie L, Tracy M, Sandra, Karen Purdy, Gavin Rutherford, Speedtopia, I think I got you already, Cha Cha Wilbur, Lisa Hathaway. Okay, good. Let's go on to the next one. This next one. Nobody's getting this one. Nobody. Here it is. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Yes! Damn, you guys. Damn! Seriously, for some reason I thought I was getting this one past you. Nope. 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 This was one of my favorite lines from the movie. Let's see. At the top, oh my goodness, what is up with Eddie G's internet is blazing fast today. There she goes again at the top, followed by Punxsutawney Mo, the Trump Reaper, Misha Oliver, Stephanie Yell, Tracy M, Amanda Crawford, Peter is a Boss, Michelle Bookout, Stacy Mendenhall, Sylvia Correa, Linda K, Synth Fan, you get partial credit, said Bill Murray. Yeah. Watcher Soko, Lee Saunders, Cindy C, Lucy L, Scribble My Dibbles, Lisa Hathaway, Ben Carlazzo. Okay, I didn't fool not a soul in this audience. Damn. Next up. Next one. Next one. Until you do right by me, everything you even think about gonna fail. Until you do right by me, everything you even think about gonna fail. If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. We were looking for the color purple, and that line was delivered by none other than Whoopi Goldberg. Anybody remember her character's name? Let's see. We got Monique Lee. Oh, Eddie G. Monique beat you by that much. Monique Lee, Eddie G, Ms. Maui Cruz, Peter is a Boss. The Tracy M, Misha Oliver, Amanda Crawford, Lucy L, Watcher Soko, Cindy C, Gavin Rutherford, Sheila Bird, Karen Purdy, Lisa Hathaway, Samantha Hawkins, Cha-Cha, Lumpy Girl, Sylvia Correa. Okay. Seeley. That was her name. Thank you. Seeley? Yeah. All right. Here's the last one. Here goes nothing. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. I'll do that again for you. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. All right. Well, I suppose my my consolation prize is that I've fooled like a handful of you guys on each of these, but definitely not on this one. Let's see. This one here, we were looking for Back to the Future. The line was spoken by Doc. And let's see. All right. At the top here, we got Synth Fan, Michelle Bookout, Linda K, Punxsutawney Mo, Amanda Crawford, Misha Oliver, Lee Saunders, Tracy M, Stephanie L, Lucy L, Ness from Connecticut, Karen Purdy, Eddie G, Watcher Soko, Michelle Booker, Lisa Hathaway, Gavin Rutherford, Speedtopia, Cha-Cha, M. Getz, Patricia Haverkamp, Peter is a Boss, Samantha Hawkins, the Trump Reaper, Sylvia Correa. All right, everybody got it. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Amanda Crawford, yes, that does help that you missed one. I'm kidding. Thank you for playing that game with me. And we are going to keep this show moving right along. One with you, Raggedy Bish. Da, 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 da. And you, Raggedy Bish, let me just for a second talk about drugs. In particular, I want to know if any of you out there have ever tried acid. Has anybody tried dropping acid before? Dropping acid. I haven't dropped acid since I was a teenager. You take a little piece of paper that's medicated, it's got like chemicals on it, and you put it on your tongue, and then maybe a half hour, 45 minutes later, you start to hallucinate. Some people took mescaline, something, whatever. Acid, dropping acid. And it creates a very distorted experience of reality. Yeah? Some people like watching their hands. Yo, dude. Yo, look at my hand, bro. Yo, this shit is wild, man. And so there you are, tripping out, tripping balls. And I'm just trying to kind of explain the experience to you. In your substance altered reality, everything is wild. Everything, yo, dude, yo, check it out, man. Yeah, and your behavior to because you're not tripping by yourself. It's a bad idea to ever trip by yourself, right? So your behavior to your little group of friends, perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. None of your friends sees your behavior as, wow, what's wrong with that dude? Yo, that's weird. No. Nobody sees your behavior as weird. It's normal. It's accepted, right? But the minute you step outside your own bubble of reality, you go out into the street, first of all, you could get hit by a vehicle under the influence. And aside from that, anybody else who sees you, yo, man, reality is weird. It's weird, man. Tripping balls, man. Everybody else sees you as a kook or drugged out. Why do I bring up tripping on acid? Because I swear, you can't make this shit up. The reality that the GOP is trying to push their way through. Yesterday, Elise Stefanik tried to mount some kind of argument that Nancy Pelosi, of all people, was responsible for January 6th. That she somehow knew there was going to be an attack and decided not to have anyone protect her ass while she's in there. That's insane. But what's even more insane is that Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene are on like a fundraising tour. And I'm putting fundraising in quotes because the whole point of raising money, of fundraising, is to make more money than you spend. Well, apparently, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, not only are they not making much money, they're spending way more. They raised $60,000. They've spent $250,000. You have to be on drugs to think that that's okay. It ain't. It ain't okay. But what else ain't okay is that the new 4G, Gaetz, Gohmert, Gosar, Paul Gosar, and Green, the four of them, while the January 6th hearing was happening yesterday, these jackasses went out there to have some kind of bullshit press conference to try to make the case that the people who are being held, the January 6th insurrectionists that are being held illegally and being treated poorly and blah 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 blah, all this bullshit. But thankfully, we still have active members of the resistance who are doing their thing to put shit in the game. And I give you this.
Somebody take them away.
The media, you saw what happened here. The left shut us down.
The whistles.
They hate free speech.
They hate free speech.
Are you a pedophile? Are you a pedophile? Are you a pedophile?
She's great.
Are you a pedophile? Are you a pedophile?
Get back.
Are you a pedophile, Congressman Gates? Are you a pedophile? Congressman, are you a pedophile?
She did not quit.
Are you a pedophile, Congressman Gates?
She did not quit.
Are you sure?
Somebody take them away.
Watch it again.
The media,
Louis
you saw
Gohmert
what
is
happened
still trying to
here.
talk.
The left shut us down. They hate free speech. They hate free speech.
Are you a pedophile, Congressman Gates? Are you a pedophile, Congressman Gates? Are you a pedophile? Are you a pedophile?
He never denied being a pedophile.
Get back.
Are you a pedophile, Congressman Gates? Are you a pedophile? Congressman, are you a pedophile? Are you a pedophile, Congressman Gates?
Are you sure?
Somebody take them away.
You know, all he had to say was no. All he had to say was no. But I love that scene. It was fantastic. They had their press conference, and meanwhile, members of the resistance were ready with signs and they're saying pedophiles for Trump. And let's see, what other signs did we have here? Traitors and rapists sit down. Perfect. It's a perfect background for their press conference. But yeah, come on. You're doing the officers, the U.S. Capitol police officers, a disservice by offering counter programming to while they are pouring their hearts out, telling of their experiences. You're out here pulling some stunt like this. So they deserve this. Matt Gaetz deserves to be hounded everywhere he goes for as long as he is a sitting member of Congress. Yeah? He freaking used Venmo to pay for underage girls to have sex with. That's rape. Isn't it? Isn't that rape? Yes? No? Of course it is. So yeah, your altered reality caused by the drug that you have overdosed on, and that drug being Trump, is causing you guys to look like complete assholes to the rest of the world. And that's why you are today's you raggedy bitches. You raggedy bitches. All right. So that's it for that. I got time for like this many questions. And yeah. Let me remind you, please, to hit that like button. Hit the like button while you are still here. Whoa, we got a super long question from Amanda Crawford. Let's see. Amanda Crawford says, do you find it hypocritical when people ask for your differing opinions, then block you because you disagree with their opinions and call them out for being wrong about their baseless opinions? So I think it's wrong. Wait, hypocritical when people ask you for your differing opinions, then block you because you disagree with their opinions and call them out for being wrong about their baseless opinions. Yes? Yeah. You had me stuck there because whether you guys realize it or not, I'm in the middle of like a block marathon. I've just been blocking. I have so many trolls who pop up on my feed on a daily basis. You know, the blocking thing is like second nature to me now. So, but yeah, if they're asking for differing opinions and then they block you because you gave a differing opinion, that is hypocritical. Absolutely. Cindy C asked, "Did you hear 45 lost again? His GQP candidate in Texas lost to a real Republican. He can't lose enough, in my opinion, and they never learn and still kiss his ass." Yes, I absolutely. I'm thrilled by that. Yeah, that's actually very significant, and people are going to be watching because they are still kowtowing to him because they believe his endorsement is worth something. They believe that if they toe the party line, if they kiss his ass enough, he will endorse them, and that will be the Midas touch or the kiss of death. As we know, we've been watching this thing, and it's hashtag ETTD, everything Trump touches dies. And that's what happened in Texas yesterday. I think it was George P. Bush lost to the guy. Oh, wait. No. George P. Bush didn't even get endorsed by Trump. Some other guy got endorsed by Trump. And his GQP candidate in Texas lost to a real Republican. So, yeah, that's good news. I love it. I love to see it. Watcher Soko has breaking news for us. It says, breaking, mask mandate back at the Pentagon. That's interesting. Yeah, we're going to see more of these mask mandates, and I'm ready for it. I'm sure you guys are ready for it because we've been living, me, wifey, the kids, we've been living as though we're still under some kind of mask mandate. Mostly, when we're outside at the park and we're socially distanced, fine. But when we're in the grocery store, in the supermarket, the Costco, a mall, whatever, it's mask up. It's not even any question. And I love my mask. It has a thing that, what's it called? A thing that goes around my neck that hangs from there. My words are failing me now. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's show. Episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, a.k.a. Brooklyn Dad. And if you got to go out, please remember to get vaxxed, get your shot if you haven't gotten it yet, wear your mask, lanyard. Thank you, Misha, Oliver, Cindy C., Samantha Hawkins. Wear your masks. Keep your social distance. 6 feet or better. And have a lovely, relaxing evening. So, as you know already, I won't be here mañana. However, I will be. Oh, wait. Totally forgot to update you guys on this. Should I hold on to it for Friday? Yeah, I'm going to hold on to it for Friday. Yeah, we'll wait till Friday, but I do have some good news. I'll share it with you on Friday. So anyway, I'll see you guys Friday, same time, same place. I love you all. Peace. Watchers Uncle said no. Lee Saunders says what? I promise you, it's good, and it's worth the wait. I promise you, it's good news. Just pretend I didn't say it. Yeah, on the real, I hate cliffhangers too. I do. But you know what? It's like when they do a cliffhanger in a TV show, and I'm like, wifey and I will both be pissed and we'll be cursing, and damn it, I hate when they end it like that. You know we're watching the next episode. We definitely are. Bump, 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 bump. Hey! Nope, I'm not giving you any hints. And if you guess, then I'm not even going to answer. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Speedtopia wants a Twilight Zone quiz one day. Huh. Interesting. That's going to be tough. I don't think I remember enough Twilight Zone episodes. I've probably seen about 20, a total of 20 in my life. Maybe. Hey! But I'll see. I'll have to research my Twilight Zone knowledge. Oh. All right, you guys. Sorry to leave you with the cliffhanger, but you know, it is what it is. All right, I love you guys, and but now it is time. You need to leave.